Buckle up. It's the Insurance Dudes Podcast.
Boom. Matt Dietz.
What's up, fellas?
Matt.
I suspect that the title to this will have something about the Dietz.
I think
Give
we
us
should
the
do
Dietz.
that. Yeah.
Get the Dietz.
The dirty Dietz and dirt cheap.
Oh.
I
Print
like
it,
that one.
publish it, it's done.
You need that. You need a neon sign of that
I do, right
in your
behind
background.
Dirty
Right.
Dietz, done dirt
me.
cheap.
Dirt cheap. That's good.
Cue music, please.
Thanks for having me on, fellas.
Absolutely. Up
thank
from
you,
blustery Idaho. What's the
Idaho.
temp?
It's 55 degrees here, sunny. I should probably be on the golf course today, but
That's golf weather.
I'd rather be with you guys today.
Well,
so,
thank you.
yeah.
I just came back from Durango where it was at night. It was like 15 degrees.
Oh,
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's cool.
chilly.
Ooh.
that's
Chilly.
cold.
I was in a
Yeah.
jacuzzi, so my head was frozen, and the rest was too hot.
Balmy.
Weird.
Yeah.
Balmy.
Yeah. Where are you guys at?
Tucson, Arizona.
Oh, nice.
Huntington Beach, California.
Potentially
there you go.
Newport Beach, California.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Awesome.
So, well, welcome to the show. We start the show with a segment that we like to call Speed Breakers.
Speed breakers.
Speed Breakers.
All right.
So, cue the clock, Mr. Jason. And, I don't know if we
didn't
really
have
have
the clock ready.
I think that a record was 1 minute and 4 seconds. So if you can beat 1 minute and 4 seconds, you may win fabulous prizes.
Okay, I'm game. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Ever had a mullet?
Oh yeah, I'm a
Good.
Generation X. Graduated high school in '91. I had a good one. Like I'd
Nice.
be playing with it all the time. Yeah.
First crush?
Yes.
First crush.
Mm-hmm.
What was my first crush? God, that's a good question. I think I had a thing for. Oh, who was on Brenda on 90210? Right? She
Oh,
was. Yeah.
there you go.
Shannon Doherty.
Yeah, yeah.
Most embarrassing
Nice.
thing your mom ever caught you doing?
Oh shit.
That's a good response.
My mom found. I guess it wasn't. I don't know. My mom found a pack of cigarettes in my jean jacket when I was in high school, and she took it out of my jacket and she put it on my dresser as a way to be like I'm onto you. So
Kudos on the jean jacket, by the way.
Yes.
Awesome.
Gen X.
Yes. We found
Any patches
one of those.
on the jacket?
What's that?
Any patches on the jacket?
I had a Judas Priest patch on the jacket.
Ooh.
Of course.
Amazing. Phenomenal.
Amazing.
You win.
I found an e-cig under my daughter's mattress after she'd gone to school, and I did the same approach. I just left it laying out on her counter.
Yeah.
Like
be
we
watching
know,
you.
we
Yeah.
know.
She's like, I don't care.
Yeah, she's like, oh, thanks, you found it. I'm like, oh, that worked well. Fastest speed ever driven.
I did 120 through Montana when there was no speed limit in Montana.
There you go.
Ooh.
I could
Favorite-
see. That's funny. My gas. I could see my gas gauge going down as I was driving that speed.
Hilarious. Favorite
Yeah.
cereal.
Favorite cereal. I love Lucky Charms.
Mm.
Yeah,
How many kids?
They are magically delicious.
they are. I have two kids. I have a 14-year-old.
Have you
boy.
made cry? Have you made cry? I'm sorry. Please wait till the end of the question.
Oh, sorry. How many kids have I made cry? At least two. At least
There
two.
you go. Count Chocula or Count Dracula?
Count Chocula.
Fastest mile?
Fastest mile. I think I broke. I didn't start running till later in my career when my hair started going gray. So I think I broke 7 minutes.
Nice. Favorite
Yeah.
flavor?
Favorite flavor. I like peppermint.
Peppermint. Dogs or
Ooh.
cats?
Dogs.
It's always dogs.
Hands
Tacos or
down.
burritos?
That's good. I guess it depends on the day. Yesterday was Tuesday, so it would have been tacos.
Taco Tuesday.
So
And
burritos
everybody's favorite question: Trump or Biden? You don't have to answer that.
Plead the fifth.
Well, you've made it through Speed Breakers.
Love it.
I don't think we set a world record pace on that one, but
right.
it was pretty solid.
All right, appreciate that.
But that was fantastic answers. Fantastic. And you win with the Judas Priest patch on your
It was
jean
a
jacket,
freebie, free win.
Yeah.
Jason, I believe you have one last question.
One last question. What was your first concert you ever went to?
I mean, I think we all know the answer to that question. My first concert was Judas Priest.
Boom.
Cinderella opened for them.
Breaking the law.
1991.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Breaking the law.
That gets me excited. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Now,
true insurance dude.
You had long hair at that time, right?
Oh, yeah. The mullet was in full effect.
Hockey
Did
hair.
you wear spandex to the show?
No.
No.
I was denim. And we were denim, and like, the Black Rock t-shirt was all we needed, So
all you needed.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was great.
Love it.
Well, take us back from breaking the law to now. How did you get into insurance? Tell us that story.
I'll tell you that story. So I've been in insurance. I've been with my company. I'm a farmer's agent. I've been with farmers for 16 years now. I worked in higher education for 5 years. When I was in college, I didn't want to leave college, right? And so I got a job on a college campus for 5 years. I was a hall director. And so I actually had an opportunity to get a master's degree. I lived out in New York for a couple of years. So I got a master's degree in like leadership, because that was supposed to open doors if I wanted to stay on campus and stuff like that. And then I moved out to Washington State, go Cougs. And I worked at Washington State University for 3 years, which is where I met my wife. And she's from Idaho. So I followed her to Idaho because she was worth following. And we ended up getting married. And I took the first job that I could take down here. And I worked for Enterprise Rent-A-Car for 3 years. And that's where I learned that I could sell. I had a knack for sales at that point because I was selling their damage waiver at a very proficient rate. And but I also learned that if I wanted to move up in enterprise, I would have had to leave Idaho, and I didn't want to leave. There was really only one position left for me to go. And so my dad always told me, he's like, Matt, he'd been bugging me. He's like, Matt, you should look into insurance. You should look into insurance. And I was always pushing him off. I don't want to be an insurance guy, But at this point, I was looking for one last move. I wanted my career, And so I was like, all right, Dad, I'll look into insurance. And interviewed with a handful of companies and liked what they had to say. And I liked what farmers had to say most. And I said, I'll give it a shot. And I started my career as a farmer's agent, and I've been there ever since. And so that's how I got
started
here.
From scratch, right?
Yeah, I'm a scratch agent. So it was tough.
Take us through the first year. Yeah. What was that like? I mean,
it was hard. I didn't know anything. I'd never run a business before. I'd been an employee my whole life up to that point, and so I thought the guy that hired me was my boss. He wasn't my boss, he's my district manager. I'm my own boss. And it took me a while. So I was a great agent because I did whatever he wanted me to do because I thought he was my boss, so I went to all his meetings and I did everything that he wanted me to do. And he was a good trainer and a good DM. So that helped me out. But, the first year is all about, I didn't even know what I didn't know at that point. So I didn't know about marketing. I knew that all I needed to know was I needed to know how to make my phone ring. Like that was like my one line mission statement was make your phone ring. I remember this moment sitting at my desk where I was like, hey, I got my shiny new computer and I got my phone and I'm in business, but nothing was happening. I could stare at my phone all day. So I realized that I needed to do something. And so I ran to, do you guys remember these things? They were called bookstores. Do you remember bookstores?
Bookstores.
Vaguely.
Yeah, like
Vaguely.
way back in the day.
It's not like a
So I ran to like Borders and I bought like all these sales books. And so I learned everything I could about sales and marketing. And so my first year was really just like a crash course on marketing and sales. And so just learned as much as I could. There was an agent that I really respected and I said, you're going to be my mentor. And he was like, cool. And so I'd run all my ideas by him and kind of emulated what he was doing and found a way to make it work. So yeah, It was exciting.
Nice.
I caught
what
something
did you do
back
for
there.
Sales off the bat?
Oh, you go.
You go.
No, you go.
At the same
Craig
time,
caught something back there. I want to catch it too, and then we'll go back.
It's much lighter and a totally different subject. But you said you followed your wife to Idaho because she was worth following, and I wonder if that was the best description of that. What would she think of that?
I think she'd be happy to hear that. Yeah.
Worth following. Okay. Well, luckily they don't listen, so.
Yeah, right. I might cut that clip out and just send that to her. You know? Yeah. 19 years later, we're still married, so it was a great decision. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Totally unrelated.
Cool.
So there you go.
Totally unrelated. Now let's go back to sales. I know you do some training and stuff like that, so I'm curious. I want to know that sales. It's tough. I know the first year is tough, and it's tough when we start cutting our teeth with sales and figuring this out, especially with at captives. Yeah.
So do you want to know what I learned and how I learned it?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Okay. I'll tell you.
Perfect.
At the time, our product wasn't really priced that competitively. So I had to learn to sell on value right away. So we weren't coming in with quotes, just winning on price. And that's a objection that I always had to overcome in my first few years because our pricing wasn't that great. So I was taught pretty quickly to sell on value. And I learned that people buy insurance for one of three reasons. One is for price. That's always going to be a part of the factor. Two is the coverages or what we're offering. And then three is the service that's given by us or the agency owner. So the only X factor there, the only thing that I have any control over is the service that we provide. Like I can't do anything with my product. I can't do anything with my pricing. I can make sure that I'm working up the price as competitively as I can with all the discounts and things like that. But I'm going to land on a price, that's going to be right. And so I was taught to, create doubt in a sales scenario so that when I'm doing a side-by-side comparison, I always had to make sure that my proposal had something extra to sell. So if they're at 100, 300, I got to make sure that I got 250, 500. If they have $1,000 deductibles, I got to make sure I'm in at 500. So at the end of the presentation, it's like, look, I know this is $13 more a month, but I'm doubling your insurance. Doesn't that make sense to you? And so I had to always find a way to squeeze value into the proposal. And if they were already maxed out on their coverages, the only thing I had to lean on was myself. I was like, look, I run a really efficient shop. I answer my phone. We're going to give you the best service that you deserve. And I learned early that a lot of people are shopping insurance because their agent never calls them back. And I was shocked that people were having that experience. Like I couldn't imagine being that agent who's not calling people back. So I made a vow to myself and taught my team that like we return all the calls all the time. Like we don't wait. Even if we don't have the answer, we're going to let them know that their message was received. And every time I'm coming in my office and when I have messages, I'm dialing the phone with people who need to talk to me, even as my computer's firing up. So like the service is the only thing that we really can differentiate ourselves with. I mean, I got another agent a half a mile from here, and I got another one a quarter of a mile from here. Like I could hit him with a 6-iron with a good wind behind me. And if I really get a hold of it, but we're three of us on the same block, and so what do I have to do differently, for them to want to buy from me? And so that's what I worked really hard on.
Love it. When the agency that I first got into here that I bought was in this tiny shopping center. We are a captive. We're in a captive, and then there's also a Farmers right there, and a State Farm. So literally, we were just the only people that came in the office at that point were just somebody that was like, I can go to all three of them right there.
Right, it's like the insurance food court, right?
Yeah. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. I love, I love what indies do. But man, if you have the experience of selling for a captive, especially there for long enough where your captive was the most expensive or the most difficult or didn't provide one of the coverages that all the other big ones do, then oh man, it's like that experience is just so valuable.
It was really important. So my closing ratio early in my career was in the low 20s. That's just where I lived so I would close 1 out of every 4, 1 out of every 5. And over the past 3 or 4 years, our closing ratio with all the work that I put in over the past decade of building relationships here in town and earning referral sources and getting finally warm leads instead of cold leads, like our closing ratio last year was 48%. Wow. And that's we're really proud of that, and I think it took me a while to try and figure out why is my closing ratio so much better? And it's just because the business that's coming to us is coming from trusted sources, and they're like, you just go talk to Matt and he'll take care of you. And so they're coming to us with trust already installed. And that is really just magical, so like they're ready to buy when they come in the door. And that's years of cultivating relationships with the right people in town. So
what kind of infrastructure?
Talk about that. Yeah.
What kind of infrastructure have you built up now over all this time and having so many policies? Has that had to change your ability to talk to every client? Talk a little bit about that, because I know that being the person who everybody goes to can be a little maddening as you expand.
Yeah, I heard. I was working with a marketing guy a few years ago because I was a little worked up because my book of business was getting bigger, and I had producers bringing people on, and they were bringing people on that I didn't know. So I had clients that I didn't know, and I was okay with that. Like I want my producers bringing business in for me when I'm not in the office. That's by design, but I'm the agent, I'm the face, my name's on the door and things like that. So I was worried that these people wouldn't feel a connection to me, and that was important. And so I worked with a marketing guy, and we've done numbers of things over the years to try and get my name and face in their house, whether that's through the mail or through email or through social and things like that. And so he said, Matt, he's like, you have a good problem here. He said, the thing that you need to remember is that you don't necessarily need to know them. He says, but they need to know you. And that was really, that was awesome for me to hear. So I started kind of broadcasting more about me to them through, whether it's an email blast or a mailer, just giving them pieces of me so that they knew that I had a family and I had a son and a daughter and I like to golf and I love Judas Priest or whatever it is, so that they can have a connection with me. And when they come in the door, they feel like they know me. And that was really the same way that, like, if you ran into your favorite, television star, if you pass them on the street, like, you feel like you might know them because you've watched them for years and things like that. It was kind of, I wanted to have that kind of, synthetic warmth, I guess, when people came in, that they knew me because they've seen my face because I've gotten in front of them so many times over the years. And so that's something that we've worked hard to make sure that they feel a connection one way or another.
I love that. That is such a cool way to look at it. I don't need to know them, but they need to know me.
Yeah, it's a little different, right? I have like 1,800 households, and there's probably 4,000 people. I can't know 4,000 people. It's just the reality of it. And I needed to understand that was okay. And that's what was important, was that I needed to have some relief and be like, Matt, it's okay. You don't need to know them all, but your role has changed a little bit. And that's important to recognize.
It's tough to let go of the reins a little bit when you expand. But I know that you've developed some one-to-many strategies, podcasting being one of them. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
To be continue.
Hey, Jason.
Yes, Mr. Craig.
That was another awesome episode, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if people want to get a little bit more action and learn how to write 100,000 in premium off of even the worst internet leads, where could they go?
they can go to live.teledudes.com.
Ooh, that sounds exciting. Are we going to be there?
Yes, it's a weekly call that we're doing right now it's live, and it will show you the process. The entire process is super awesome.
I love it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Sign up right now, live.teledudes.com.
Live.teledudes.com. That's live.teledudes.com.
Hey, Craig, there's a new community that we are starting that I cannot wait to tell everybody about. It is our live texting community where you and I are going to answer people's questions and give them free content, right?
Are you kidding me? We get to talk to them?
Yeah, which is awesome, but they have to opt in. They have to text us at 520-214-2219. That's 520-214-2219.
Nice.
Craig, are you going to respond to these texts?
I'm going to respond to them for sure. Live.
I'm into it too. It's going to be awesome. And it's going to be our new texting community where we're going to get back to everybody that we can and drop some crazy content, free content, and free the calculator that you just came up with. That's right. The calling calculator, sales material. I mean, everything for insurance agents. This is it. It's the best texting community out there for insurance agents.
Well, what the heck is that number again? I can't remember it.
It's 520-214-2219. That's 520-214-2219.
I love it. I'm going to text it right now.
520-214-2219.
All right. I'll see you later, Mr. Jason.
Bye, Mr. Craig.
Wait, do they even listen to this on the radio anymore?
I love it. I love it.
Nice.
All right.